Christian down in West Loop liked Easter a lot, but the Fiend who lived just a little west did not. The Fiend hated Easter, the whole Easter season. Now please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be, perhaps, that he was duped as a child, told by his parents that Jesus was too wild. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or being duped, he stood there on Easter Eve, hating West Loop. Staring from his balcony with his sour fiend frown at the warm lighted windows in their annoying little town, for he knew every looper down in West Loop across was busy now putting on their silly little cross.
And their parents are starting to fill their Easter baskets.
He snarled with a snare.
Tomorrow is Easter. It's practically here.
Then he growled with his fingers nervously drumming.
I must find a way to stop Easter from coming. For tomorrow I know they will all turn tribal. They will wake bright and early and rush for their Bibles. And then, oh, the prayers, 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 prayers. There's one thing I hate. All the prayers, 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 prayers. And they'll shriek, squeaks, and squeals, racing around full of zeal. They'll dance with jing-tinglers tied onto their heels. They'll blow their fluvers, they'll bang their tartukas. They'll blow their hoo-hoopers, they'll bang their gardukas. They'll spin their trump-dukas, or slam their slew-slunkas. They'll beat their blum-bloopas, they'll wham their hoo-wonkas. And then they'll make ear-splitting noises galooks on their great big electro-flukes. Then the loopers, young and old, will sit down to a feast. And they'll feast, and they'll feast, and they'll feast, feast, feast. They'll feast on chips and disgusting roast beef. Roast beef is a feast I can't stand in the least. And then they'll do something I hate most of all. Every looper down in West Loop, the tall and the small, they'll stand close together with Easter bells ringing. They'll stand hand in hand and those loopers will start singing. And they'll sing, and they'll sing, and they'll sing, sing, sing.
And the more the Fiend thought of this looper Easter sing, the more the Fiend thought,
I must stop this whole thing. Why, for many years I've put up with it now. I must stop Easter from coming. But how?
Then he got an idea. An awful idea. The Fiend got a wonderful, awful idea.
I know just what to do.
The Fiend stroked his chin.
I'll make myself look just like one of them.
The Fiend chuckled and snarled.
Man, do I think on the whim. With their necklaces and my new looks, I'll look just like one of them.
You're a mean one, Mr. Fiend. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus, you're as charming as an eel, Mr. Fiend. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. You're a monster, Mr. Fiend. Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Fiend. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5 foot pole.
All I need now is a cross.
The Fiend looked around, but since crosses disgusted him, there was none to be found. Did that stop the Fiend? Ha! The Fiend simply said,
If I can't find a cross, I'll make one instead.
So he took a knife and went to work, and he whittled and he carved as he made the artwork. He began to practice what he was going to say. He was going to do his best to turn their faith the other way.
This is going to be fun. My brilliant plan has just begun.
Then the Fiend took off with spectacular speed as the loopers finished reciting the Apostles' Creed. Each of the families now were eating as a group, feasting on their delicious beef soup, when he came to the first house in West Loop.
Hey Dad, remember that Calvary Express video that we filmed and you were the waiter who was carrying the chocolate crosses?
Yeah, I remember that.
Attention, please! Is anyone in need of any treats? I thought so.
I think I have some of them today. I brought some right here.
Oh, how nice is that? Maybe we should pass them around?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
This is stop number 1.
The Fiend hissed. Then he knocked on the door with his demonic fist.
Oh, wonder who that could be. I'll go get it. Thanks, Liz.
Greetings, my fellow Christian. Would you like to come in?
He replied.
Thank you very much, my very good friend.
One of the loopers said with much glee.
Welcome to our high school Bible ministry.
We're studying Jesus' resurrection and death.
These words nearly took away his breath. He laughed, and with the evil inside, doubt began to spread about Jesus with his spoken lie.
You're a vile one, Mr. Fiend. You have termites in your smile. You have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Fiend. Given the choice between the two of you, I'd take the seasick crocodile.
Then they all questioned why they believed in him. It annihilated their faith, even Reverend Jim.
You're a rotten one, Mr. Fiend. You're the king of sinful sots. Your heart's a dead tomato blotched with moldy purple spots, Mr. Fiend. You're a three-decker sauerkraut and toast sandwich with arsenic sauce. You nauseate me, Mr. Fiend. With a nauseous super nos. You're a crooked jerky jockey and you drive a crooked hoss, Mr. Fiend. Your soul is like Holly, dumb and heat, overflowing with the most disgraceful assortment of rubbish imaginable, mangled up and tangled up knots.
At the finale of his sinister scheme, the Fiend went to the greatest extreme. He entered the church and went on to steal their crosses, Bibles, and even their roast beef meal. As the Fiend took the last cross, pushing it in with a shove, he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. He turned around fast, fast as a piston rod, and saw that it was just a man of God. He stared at the Fiend and said,
"My friend, why are you taking our precious things? Why?"
But you know, that old Fiend was so smart and so slick he thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick.
Why, my sweet little man?
The fake Christian lied.
This cross is broken on its left side. So I'm bringing it back home to my workshop, my dear man. I'll fix it up there and bring it back as fast as I can.
And his fib fooled the man. Then he patted his head, and the man said,
"Thank you. I'll retire to my homestead."
And the man returned home. He picked up his cat, snuggled it, and gave it a nice little pat.
You're a foul one, Mr. Fiend. You're a nasty, wasty skunk. Your heart is full of unwashed socks. Your soul is full of gunk, Mr. Fiend. The three words that best describe you are as follows, and I quote: stink, stank, stunk.
It was a quarter of dawn, all the loopers still abed, all the loopers still a-snooze when he packed up and fled. He headed back up his stairs without the slightest care.
I've got those lousy loopers.
He was humming.
They're finding out now that no Easter is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. The loopers down in West Loop will all cry, boo-hoo. That's a noise
Grinned the Fiend.
that I simply must hear.
He paused, and the Fiend put a hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the road. It started in a low, then it started to grow. But this sound wasn't sad. Why, this sound sounded glad. Every looper down in West Loop, the tall and the small, was singing without any Bibles or crosses at all. He hadn't stopped Easter from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Fiend, with his fiendish head starting to blow, stood puzzling and puzzling.
How could it be so? It came without crosses, it came without belief, it came without candy, chocolate, and stinking roast beef.
He puzzled and puzzled till his puzzler was sore. Then the Fiend thought of something he hadn't before.
Maybe Easter.
He thought doesn't come from things.
Maybe Easter perhaps comes from Jesus, the King.
And what happened then? Well, in West Loop they say that the Fiend's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And then the true meaning of Easter came through, and the Fiend found the strength of 10 Christians plus 2. And now that his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. With a smile to his soul, he descended to West Loop, cheerily dancing the loop-de-loop. He brought back their crosses, Bibles, and roast beef. They all looked at him and smiled to his relief.
You're a mean one, Mr. Fiend. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus, you're as charming as an eel, Mr. Fiend. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. You're a monster, Mr. Fiend. Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Fiend. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole. You're a vile one, Mr. Fiend. You have termites in your smile. You have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Fiend. Given the choice between the two of you, I'd take the seasick crocodile.